today we're going to be talking about the stages of labor since you're expecting in July. We're going to go through, there's 3 main stages to labor. The first stage is broken down into 3 sub-stages. There's the early, or called the latent phase, the active phase, and the transition phase. During the first stage of labor, you're going to dilate from 0 to 10 centimeters and become 100% effaced. When you go in, they're going to figure out which way the baby's lying, make sure she's head down and how she's facing to determine if she's got the right part of her head to come in through the pelvis. And they're going to do a vaginal exam to determine exactly how far dilated you are so they know where you are in these stages. Okay, so the first substage, the early phase, your cervix is going to dilate from 0 to 3 centimeters. Your contractions are going to be pretty short, lasting 20 to 40 seconds. You should continue to walk, pack your bag for the hospital, get everything ready. There's no need to rush to the hospital during this stage. And it is normal to have some bloody vaginal discharge. It's called a bloody show. This phase usually takes about 6 hours. So whenever you start feeling contractions, to determine if they're real contractions versus Braxton Hicks, you can kind of walk around or change positions, and if they go away, then they're probably Braxton Hicks contractions. But if they keep coming or get stronger, then you know they're real contractions. So at that point, start preparing. Exactly. Get your clock out, start timing them. And that's where Lee will come in handy to help out with that. The active phase, you're going to dilate from 4 to 7 centimeters. During this phase, you're going to go in and be admitted to the hospital. Your contractions are going to get stronger. They're going to last anywhere from 40 to 60 seconds and be about 3 to 5 minutes apart. Your bloody show will increase. Membranes will be typically ruptured during this phase, whether that's naturally or a doctor going in and doing that. And also during this phase, the mom, you can request an epidural. At 4 centimeters, that's about the time they do the epidural. Anytime before that, it can slow the progress of labor, and anytime after that, they haven't seen in their studies that it affects the progress of labor. This stage from 4 to 7 usually lasts anywhere around 3 hours. The transition phase of labor is from 8 to 10 centimeters. Your contractions are going to reach their peak intensity. They're going to be every 2 to 3 minutes, lasting 60 to 90 seconds. So they're going to be pretty strong, and you're going to be feeling them like they're in your face. Your discomfort is going to increase. You may have some nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, all completely normal.
All the good parts.
Exactly. And you're going to feel an urge to push. So your nurse will know you're in this phase because your body language changes, your mood changes, you're so self-centered about you and this baby. So your nurse will sense that and be getting ready for a delivery. This stage is about 30 minutes, so it's really quick. The second stage of labor starts when you're 10 centimeters dilated and 100% effaced, so the baby's ready to come out. You're going to start pushing with each contraction, and you're going to feel the need to push. They probably won't have to cue you into that. Your body's telling you, this is natural, I need to push. With the new standards now, they say for each contraction you shouldn't push more than 7 seconds. They want the moms to make sure they're getting enough oxygen, to get the baby enough oxygen, so you should only be pushing for 7 seconds. And if you can't push for 7 seconds, just, you know your body's limits. So whatever's comfortable with you is what's going to be best for you and baby. This pushing stage usually lasts about an hour, and it will end with the complete birth of Tegan. She will be here completely out. The third stage starts when she's born. So you're going to be engrossed in watching her and what they're doing with her. Your uterus will continue to contract, and you will still have, it's still going to be painful. a nurse will probably be massaging the uterus to get it to contract back down to about the size of a grapefruit. You can feel it in there. It's hard and round like a grapefruit. During this stage, the placenta is going to be delivered. So the uterus knows it's still in there, so that's why it's contracting, trying to get that placenta out. They may have to manually go in and kind of help it come out a little bit. This stage, usually about 5 minutes, and like I said, you're going to be so distracted with her that a lot of times you may not even be aware that these things are even going on. And there is a fourth stage that this article doesn't really talk about it, but really it's just monitoring you and the baby, lots of vital signs, blood pressure, pulse, and things like that, and making sure that you're not bleeding excessively. You will have bleeding for a few days after delivery, but they just want to make sure that that's controllable and that baby's breathing okay and doing well. And you'll probably start nursing if you're planning on nursing as soon as she's born, because that also stimulates uterine contractions. Okay. So you might start nursing and be feeling pain, completely normal, because when she's nursing, she's releasing hormones that stimulate contractions. So that's something they want to do to help your uterus contract on its own as well.
All right.
And this is a handout that I printed out for you. It talks about each stage of labor, what the physical things your body's going to be going through, what to expect, what Lee can be helping you with as the father, being your support person, how he's going to be feeling, helpless, and but what he can help you do. And then also any emotional or social aspects that your mom or his mom or whoever's in the room might be dealing with while you're going through labor. So that is for you. Do you have any questions for me about
I don't think
anything?
So. You taught me a lot. Feel better and ready and more nervous all the time.
Don't be nervous. You'll be great.
Can I take you in there with me?
I would love to. All right. Well, I hope you learned something from
I
this.
did. Thank you very much.
Thank you.